good. I'm good. Welcome to Point of Honor and the Day at the Point. I'm Dontavius Williams, and I'm giving y'all my best side right now. I apologize. 1 second. I'm trying to get my fire to my grease. I'm frying some chicken today and baking some apples and sweet potatoes. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull my apples off. I want to see what we have here. I have some roasted apples and sweet potatoes here, and I'm making a mess. So as you see here, I have those apples.
Dontavius, can you just turn it this way just for a second?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Just for a second. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Great.
So I have those here. I'm going to actually likely be taking these off here soon. Let me see about my sweet potatoes. Those are not quite done, but I believe my apples are. But you know, the beauty of this, all of this is butter in the bottom of here. And so my sweet potatoes, beautiful for my sweet potatoes because butter and sugar with the sweet potatoes, all of it works together, right? We're going to, excuse me. A lot of dishes in the little bit. I've been so busy today that I ain't pay attention to what it looks like out, what the crowd looks like. There's a lot of people out here. All right, so I'm just giving me a second for station identification. Let me get this out of here. That's a little warm.
What is it?
Those are apples. And what did I do with my?
That's an apple?
Yeah. What did I, oh, it's right here. Like, what did I do with my rag? The thing was hot. So yes, these are apples that have been stuffed with. Oh. All right, and so they've been stuffed with butter, pecans, and sugar. So what I'm doing here, all of that butter that actually came out of the apple, and even some of those apple juices that mix with it, I'm just gonna put the sweet potatoes in. That's a piece of coal there. It'll be okay. If you ever get sick or get poisoned or take too much medicine, you go to the hospital, they're gonna use charcoal to pump your belly anyway. It'll clean you out. We brush our teeth with charcoal, right? So those are done. I'm gonna put this back on the fire. Let those keep cooking. And here are my apples. So these are, like I said, stuffed with the butter, the pecans, and the brown sugar. And this is what that mix looked like. What I did was just took a bit of the center of the apple out and filled it up with all of this yummy goodness. And baked it. It baked for about an hour or so. Now, this could be served with a cream over the top. You know, you take a heavy cream, mix it with sugar, and whip it. And just a really light cream, once it cools, serve it over the top. But it's good just like that, right? So what we're going to do next here is fry this chicken up. I'm done with this. This is actually all of my stuff that I need to get washed. Just don't mind that. It's time to fry some more chicken. So my favorite part of the chicken is the chicken back. I use it as testers whenever I'm actually frying chicken to make sure that my grease is hot enough, that it's going to give me everything that I need to get the rest of the chicken cooked. Many times the chicken back would be discarded or used for like a a chicken broth or for a soup later in the 18th century, 18th to 19th century. But today I'm going to use that as a quick snack, right? That's the chicken back. That's part of the chicken back here. These chickens that we get today are huge. I bought a chicken, I think the thing was like 6 pounds. It was too big, but that was the only thing that I could choose from in the store in which I bought it. I like to get the little small ones. It's just because it's just, to me they taste better and it doesn't take as long to cook. And it's more relevant to what was being cooked at that time. The cook at a historic site like Point of Honor had the gargantuan task of ensuring that this family and their guests were fed on time every single day. Now, how long does it take to get this stuff done is definitely up to the experience of that chef, of that cook, and their knowledge. Like for me, right now, I know my grease is a little bit hot. So you hear how fast it's frying. When you fry chicken, you don't need it to fry fast like that long. So I'm just gonna reduce the heat. You see there? As you notice, that pan is heavy, that pot is heavy. So the person who was actually cooking in this kitchen or in these type kitchens would have had a serious responsibility and would have had to be really strong. Now the lady that's outside on the picture, her name is Mary Bryce. We don't know a whole lot about her, but say she was the cook here. Let's say she was the cook here. If she was the cook here, she would have had the responsibility to be lifting these pots and pans and ensuring that this family had everything that they needed. She doesn't look like a real big, strong woman, does she? But I know I had a great grandma that was a little teeny woman, but she was strong as an ox. Harriet Tubman was only 5 feet tall, but she would outwork the men in the fields by leaps and bounds because she had that dedication to the cause. But the cook would have been responsible to ensure that the meals were prepared and delivered on time into the house. They worked under the scrutinous eye of the mistress, who ensured that all of her spices and everything were well kept, and the inventory was kept well. And so she would meet with her cook on a consistent basis, whether it was daily or every other day, to ensure that the cook had the things that she wanted for her meals. Where do these ideas come from, or these recipes come from? It varies. In the 18th century, there was a lady named Hannah Glass from Europe, and she wrote a few books. One of them was The Art of Cookery, Made Plain and Simple, that she actually wrote and made money from. And these ideas of English cooking actually came to the colonies and came over with them and continued. And you know how we do, or how we used to do back in the day, I'm aging myself, when we would look through catalogs and order things. The women of the day, like we do even still, look through cookbooks and wish and do these things. That's what the mistresses of the homes would do to ensure that they were on the top level in their communities. And so even though their cooks did not know how to read and write many times, they would actually tell the cooks what would go into these dishes, and the cook would have to remember this. So the responsibility was great, the skill level had to be impeccable, and the memory had to be amazing, simply because to be able to take these recipes that you've never heard and to recreate them and make them make sense and recreate them consistently, especially if it was something that was requested. It took a lot of skill, which added to the value of said person, which also added to the ability to be bought and sold more often, depending on the business that the family was in. So it was a lot that we have to consider with the cooks on plantation. Do we know a whole lot about the people here at Point of Honor? The answer is no. We don't. We don't have a lot of information because this particular plantation site actually was bought and sold a few times over. Once I added that chicken, it cooled my grease off, so I'm going to lower it back. And so we don't know a whole lot about these people who were enslaved here, but we do know that Mary was here and that she existed. And so my goal is to have everyone who has come in here today to say her name around the site as you go through. Because as you say the name Mary Bryce, you breathe life into her, you breathe dignity into her, and you breathe honor back into who she is. We give honor to her where honor was never given. The picture, yes, it depicts a lady who looked dignified and honorable. But at the end of the day, whenever you strip off that beautiful white head wrap, that beautifully white starched and pressed neckerchief and brooch, that beautiful fan, at the end of the day, you see a woman in a work dress with buttons on the front of it, proving that she was of the enslaved class here on this plantation. Most of the women who lived in this place had hooks on the back of their dresses, wherein someone else dressed them. Mary dressed herself and possibly used those same hands to dress her mistress. Look at her face. Identify who she is, but most of all, let's honor the sacrifices that she made that she didn't even realize she was making. My name is Dontavius Williams. I'm the owner of the Chronicles of Adam. I'll be here all day until about 3. Come on back and see me a little bit later on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
അതാണ് ഇദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞ മേരി ബ്രൈസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഡെമോയിൽ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്ന ഇതാണ് മേരി ബ്രൈസ്.